YouTube! Today I want to talk about, I hate it when I do that. Anyways, I want to talk about similarities between English and Norwegian, or actually more just English and Norwegian, or the Norwegian language, I suppose. And first I want to start with similarities between English and Norwegian. Yeah, so there's a lot of words I've noticed. I've really been thinking about this in like the past, I don't know, year. Like how there's many words in Norwegian that are directly or like are written exactly the same but sound different, and words that you could guess easily what it means if you were to look at the Norwegian language and you were English. And I'm just gonna list some of them. So the word smile is smil in Norwegian. The word fat is fett in Norwegian, as in fat. But you can't say that someone is fat. We don't say that. Like we can't, when you say someone is fat, we can't say du er fett. Like it's more like just fat as in what you have in the food. And now is nå in Norwegian. Model is modell in Norwegian. Company is kompani in Norwegian. Plus is plus in Norwegian. Minus is minus in Norwegian. Standard is standard in Norwegian. Blonde is blond in Norwegian. Hair is hår in Norwegian. Photographer is fotograf in Norwegian. An insect is et insekt in Norwegian. Sister is søster in Norwegian. Brother is bror. You can also say broder, so it's almost brother. Exam is eksamen in Norwegian. For example is for eksempel in Norwegian. Problem is problem in Norwegian. It's written exactly the same. Finger is finger in Norwegian. Written exactly the same. And also written exactly the same is glass in Norwegian. Ski, is that how we say it in English? Like to ski? Is ski in Norwegian. It's written exactly the same. Also atom is atom in Norwegian. Written exactly the same. Over is over in Norwegian. Also written exactly the same. Under is under in Norwegian. Also written exactly the same. Data is data in Norwegian. Test is test in Norwegian. I think we've actually just taken that from the English language. Person is person in Norwegian. Burger is burger in Norwegian. Pasta is pasta in Norwegian. Arrangement is arrangement. Arrangement, yeah. Festival is festival in Norwegian. Festival. For is for in Norwegian. Bank is bank in Norwegian. And I could make a lot of other words like this. But I find it very interesting that there are so many words that are so similar between the two languages. And the reason is really just that we did come from some similar language, or like from the, how there's these trees, these language trees, and I think we had like a common language before, and then we like whoop. And that's why we have so many transparent words. So I'm just going to continue talking a little bit about the language and what I've found when I've done my research and thought about it. And I've noticed that we call a country et land, which is basically a land, which I think that people use more often in English, like in Old English. For example, let's seize land, but you don't really use land often as like I'm going to another land. You say more I'm going to another country, so like country is more modern English, but we still use land as in land. Also, I find this really interesting and intriguing to look at really with it in any language, and that is how some words cannot be directly translated, like untranslatable words that describe things that you don't have in another language. And so in Norwegian, I'm going to start listing some words that you cannot translate into English. I was looking at some Swedish YouTube video and they have the word orka, and we also use that in Norwegian, and it basically means that you don't, like, jeg orker ikke det, means I don't feel like doing that, but we have sort of, I don't feel like, we have a word to describe that, which is orka, jeg orker ikke å gjøre det. Means I don't feel like doing it, or I just don't want to do that. So you don't have a word that you can directly translate into English, so you'd have to say I don't feel like. So sort of, oh guys, I don't feel like, or I can't do that, or whatever. And also there's actually a lot of terms when it comes to love and such that you cannot directly translate it to English, such as I feel like the sentence jeg glad I deg, or jeg glad I deg, cannot be translated directly. It's almost like a place in between I like you and I love you, and it really just means, or literally it means I'm happy in you, but that can be taken really pervertedly. But I feel like it more probably means I'm happy around you, but it's like saying that you don't love someone, but you really like that person, or you have some love for that person, but you don't love that person. And then also jeg elsker deg, which is I love you. I don't feel like it is I love you, because we have that thing in the middle between I like you and I love you, which is jeg glad I deg. I feel like jeg elsker deg is more intense than I love you, and that was really interesting to look into. And also we have a gender-neutral term for girlfriend or boyfriend, which is kjæreste, which basically, and I never really thought about this, it means, directly translated, it means my dearest or dearest. So if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, you basically call that person dearest. You're my dearest, basically, and that means that you're my boyfriend or you're my girlfriend. So that was really interesting to see that we have a gender-neutral term for girlfriend/boyfriend as in romantic relationships. Also, within love, we have the term forelsket, which when I looked at it, like researched it, it is literally translated to pre-love or over-love, and it is the word that we use like for the euphoria that you experience when you are falling in love. And I think that's really beautiful that we have that forelsket. I say it once again, pre-loved. So it's like, but it's sort of like crushing on someone. Like you can say, oh, jeg forelska I den personen. Like I'm crushing on that person, but it still doesn't quite mean the same. Like if I have a crush on someone, it's more like I just have jeg har et godt øye for noen. Like I just have a good eye for someone. But if you're forelsket, it's like more than just a crush. So we have these kind of different meanings in these romantic terms. And also, this is not really romantic, we have hugge, like det var hyggelig. Like it was sort of cozy contentness. And what I found the description, its literal translation into English gives connotations of a warm, friendly, cozy demeanor, but it's unlikely that these words truly capture the sense of hyggelig. It's something that must be experienced to be known. I think of good friends, cold beer, and a warm fire. Like, you can't really directly translate it, so it's really hard to explain these untranslatable words. You almost have to have learned the language and been in that society for a while to actually know what these words mean. Except some words, such as this pålegg. We have a word for whatever you put on your sandwich. It's called pålegg, which basically literally translated is on put or put on, because på is on and leg is like put, like as in put something on. So yeah, basically it means put something on, or like put on, and that is something you put on your sandwich. I also found that we have this word called oppholdsvær, which is a word that is used to describe weather, and it means that, like, basically that it's nothing is falling down, like there's no rain, there's no snow, it's oppholdsvær, there's nothing falling from the sky. So some interesting things about the Norwegian language. It has the same or similar structure to Shakespearean English. We found this out in English class. Our English teacher told us that if we don't understand the the Shakespeare while we were reading it. I just got an itch there. That if we don't understand some of the Shakespeare that we read, you can just directly translate it into Norwegian and it will have like the similar structure. Like if you directly translate a modern English sentence into Norwegian, the structure of the sentence grammatically will be all fucked up. But if you do that with Shakespearean English into Norwegian, it will be almost correct. So it's probably easier for me to read Shakespeare than only English speaking people. Because it has a similar structure grammatically to Shakespeare English. Also, we have 4 different words for grandma and grandparents, basically. We have farmor, farfar, mormor, or morfar, which is basically dad, mom, dad, mom, and mom, dad. And they basically just say specifically what grandparent it is, if it's the dad's mom, or if it's the dad's dad, or if it's the mom's dad, or if it's the if it's the mom's mom, which is farmor, farfar, mormor, morfar. Yeah, and we also do this to specify grandchildren, which is basically Barnebarn, which is the child's child, and which really makes sense because from the grandparents' view, it is your child's child. So it's really literally meant. Yeah, we have different meanings for same words. The only example I could find was tanken, which varies depending on what kind of intonation you have. So tanken could be either a tank, as in like something you have something in, like a tank, or it could be a fat. So it could be tanken or tanken. And if you're from tanken or tanken, like if you're not native Norwegian, you will probably not even hear the difference between the intonations on those two, like tanken and tanken. I don't even know if I said it right there, but put in the right context, you will be able to, distinguish between like the tank and the fat. But it might be hard to hear. Also, I found that we have some words that may sound like they mean something else, like bra, written the same way you write your bra, means good, not bra. And also barn is not barn, as in a barn, like on a farm, but it's a child. I find these kind of words kind of interesting. And also, I was just finding all these things. Interestingly enough, the verb to fly is the same we use, like å fly, but we also use it for airplane. We basically just call an airplane fly, like a fly is basically what we call it, et fly. But we also use fly as the verb å fly, jeg flydde, as you use I flied yesterday, I flew, so we sort of have the same verb. Also, what is interesting is that en time is 1 hour, and it correlates with the use of, time, which has like hours, minutes, and so on and so forth. However, time in Norwegian is tid, but when we say an hour, we say en time, which is almost like time. So I don't know, I just found it. And this is something I found when I was reading Norwegian, a Norwegian book, which is a little bit old, or older Norwegian. And it used the word husbond for husband. And they are really similar, and it does mean the same, it means husband. And in older, and if we break up the word in Norwegian, it literally means house bound, that you're bound to the house. Which makes sense, because once someone has become husband and wife, that husband is bound to that house because he married this woman, so he's literally housebound, and that's what it means in Norwegian, husbond, that you're bound to the house. So that's what it literally means if you break it up in Norwegian. And also we're starting to integrate English words into our Norwegian vocabulary, such as fuck off. We say fuck off, and we make it Norwegian, so it's like fuck off with a letter you don't have, but it's called å, and it's like an A with a dot over, and we say fuck off, fuck off. Yeah, and also some funny directly translated words or sentences. The word kødda, which is like kidding, I was just kidding, about kødda, directly translate into cowballs. Like, it's really cowballs. So if we are kidding with something, we basically, and many people don't even notice, it means cowballs, which is, oh, cowballs. And the interesting thing about that is it's almost like how everybody uses the word douchebag in English, but the word really means something that you clean your vagina with. So now you know that. Research it if you don't believe me. And also we use the word jeg setter pris på deg. Or like jeg setter pris på å ha deg som venn. Means I put a price on having you as a friend. It sounds like you're selling someone if you think about it literally, but it's so engraved into the language that we don't think about it. And the same is really with jeg er glad i deg. I'm happy in you. And we don't connect any kind of perverted thing into that sentence. It's just sort of in our language. And also, interestingly enough, our dialect varies a lot. Like, Oslo dialect is the typical Norwegian, like in movies, like in American movies. If there's a Norwegian there, they don't have the dialect that I have. Like, my dialect sounds more like Old Norwegian. Like, my dialect is like this. Jeg heter Maren, og jeg er halvt kanadisk og halvt norsk. Jeg heter Maren, og jeg er halvt kanadisk, halvt norsk. Jeg heter Maren, og jeg er halvt kanadisk og halvt norsk. I can't do dialects, but I try to show you the differences there. But I have like a more old Norwegian one, which is from Haugesund or Førde. So yeah, and I just thought this was really interesting to look into, and I hope you like this kind of video. If you want to have more videos about Norwegian, please tell me and I will make more. So yeah, thank you for watching and have a nice day. Bye!